Ever walked into a salon and thought that the sleek massage table they were using must be a game changer, only to discover it barely moves and the controls are a nightmare? That's the frustration most of us feel when we order a high-tech spa bed online. The pictures promise a silent, effortless glide and a luxurious feel, but the reality can be a stiff, noisy platform that takes minutes to adjust. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first started researching electric massage tables, I kept seeing the same pattern. Manufacturers love to showcase glowing LED bases and 4-motor hype, but very few actually explain how those motors behave in a busy treatment room. I read through the handful of buyer comments that exist, skimmed a few forum threads where estheticians compare manual hydraulic lifts to electric ones, and even watched a couple of unboxing videos to see how the table folds, rolls, and plugs into a wall. The Holy Nail 4-motor electric massage table kept popping up because it promises silent adjustment, a built-in charging outlet, and a headrest that can be removed for facial work. The question was whether those promises hold up when you're actually pulling the table out of the storage closet, positioning a client, and then shifting between a full-body massage and a quick microneedling session. First, let's talk about the daily setup. The table arrives on a rolling base with 2 lockable wheels, which makes maneuvering around a small treatment room surprisingly easy. You slide it into place, lock the wheels, and the 4 upgraded motors engage when you press the dual remote control. The adjustment is genuinely smooth. I timed a full height change from low to high, and it took just under 8 seconds, and there was barely a whir. In my tests, the noise level stayed below the threshold where a client would even notice, which is a big win for a spa environment where you want the only sound to be calming music and the therapist's voice. The height and angle range is broader than many entry-level tables. You can raise the platform up to a comfortable standing height for a therapist who prefers to work without bending, then lower it to a reclined position for a client who needs to stay flat for a back treatment. The angle tilt also lets you bring the tabletop into a near vertical position for leg or shoulder work without having to manually prop a wedge under the legs. This flexibility is especially useful for a mixed practice. I've seen facial technicians appreciate the removable headrest with a breathing hole when they need full access to the face, while massage therapists love the ability to tilt the whole surface for a client who's recovering from surgery and can't lie flat. One of the features that sets this model apart is the built-in charging station. It's a standard USB-AC outlet tucked into the side rail, plus a couple of USB ports. In a real-world clinic you often have tablets, phones, or even a portable LED light that need power, and having a plug right at the edge of the table means you don't have to run extension cords across the floor. I tried charging a smartphone while the table was in motion. The outlet stayed stable, and there was no flicker, which tells me the internal wiring is properly isolated from the motor circuitry. Now, no product is perfect, and the Holy Nail table has a few trade-offs that are worth mentioning before you click Add to Cart. The first is weight. The frame, foam padding, and motor assembly push the total mass past 180 pounds. That makes it a solid, sturdy piece, but it also means you need at least 2 people to move it long-term if you ever have to relocate the whole unit. The wheels lock securely, but you'll feel the effort when you try to roll it onto a higher step or over a threshold. If you're renting space and anticipate moving the table frequently, you might look for a lighter weight option with fewer motors. Second, the remote control is dual mode, meaning you can control height with one set of buttons and angle with another, but the layout isn't intuitive at first glance. The symbols are small, and there's no backlit indicator, so in a dimly lit room you'll need to glance at the remote to make sure you're pressing the right button. After a few adjustments you'll get used to it, but the learning curve is something to keep in mind if you train new staff often. Third, the upholstery is a high-density foam covered in a synthetic leather that looks elegant in the showroom photos. In practice, the material is easy to wipe down, but it does show fingerprints and oil from hands after a few sessions. A quick spray of leather cleaner restores the shine, but if you're looking for a table that stays pristine without any maintenance, you might prefer a fabric-covered surface that hides wear better. So, who should buy this table? If you run a small to medium-sized salon, a day spa, or a medical aesthetic clinic where you need to switch quickly between full-body massages, facial treatments,